Hi everyone, Justin Pate for the Rap Institute, and we have 1 week left before our very special TWI Live event. It's going to take place at the Rad Company in Boise, Idaho, August 10th between 10 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. This is a very special TWI Live event because not only is it going to be filled with great demos from myself and also special guests, but it's also a celebration and a charity event. So the celebration part is twofold. One is I'm turning 50 years old on August 3rd. So as I turn 50, I look back at my career in the rap industry and it's been absolutely amazing. I've met a lot of great people, I've been able to do what I love for a living, and I've been able to travel the world. So the Rap Institute and the Rad Company have partnered with Interfaith, which is a great local organization that not only helps the homeless in terms of food and shelter, but they also educate them, which is right up the Rap Institute alley. So for this event, I've talked to a lot of manufacturers across the world and they've donated a lot of amazing prizes, over $8,000 worth of prizes. And we're going to give those away to you watching the event, which is great. But in order to be available to win the prizes, you have to donate at least $10. For every $10 you donate, your name goes in the pot. And in between the demos, we do a drawing, and if you're lucky, you win one of those prizes. And all the money from the event goes to Interfaith and helps those homeless people not only feed them, but also educate them. So this has been an overview of this very special TWI Live event that's taking place August 10th between 10 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. Definitely hope you can join us to celebrate not only my birthday, the rap industry, but also a chance to give to the homeless. So definitely check out the description of who's going to be doing the demos, the prizes that are available to win, and also how to sign up so you can donate the money. Hope to see you there. Cheers.
Hello, and I've got a frog in my throat. But that's okay because it's yet another podcast here at the TRC podcast. I'm enjoying. We got a Tuesday. I got Levi on my right.
What's up, Dane? I don't know if you know this, but I have a frog at my house.
Oh, wow.
Lives in our property.
We'll have to talk about that. And on my left, Anthony Fisher.
One time I hunted frogs in a canal with a trident.
Modern day Aquaman.
They call it gigging. Went frog gigging one time. I'll have to explain the full story.
Wow. Okay.
So either way, we've all done something with frogs. You've had them in your throats. I have one in my yard. And you've been gigging them.
Yeah, I've gigged them. I've trident them.
I mean, one time I was in Hawaii and I did catch toads, but toads and frogs are different. Anyway, whole different thing. Guys, we got some housekeeping. We've got a lot of different things. Obviously, you just saw the video that played there. That has to do with, well, they pretty much explained it, but Justin's out here hard at work on, well, I don't know if I want to say what vehicle yet. But
no, but he's out here shooting some videos, getting some extra stuff done.
Getting it primed and ready.
But we do have the live event August 10th.
Yep. Yes.
For the Justin's birthday bash called to serve. We're going to have you guys donate. You can go right there to the website, radcompany.com.
There it is.
Buy yourself a ticket for $10, an entry ticket into winning all those prizes.
And if you scroll down, all the info you're looking for and probably want to ask about, it's all there. So check it out. If you do have any questions that for some reason haven't been answered there, go ahead and call into the Rad Company, and the customer service line will be able to help you there as well. So
a lot of great tools. I'm excited.
Got you covered.
I hope I win all of those things.
That's
pretty sweet,
a pretty
but
hefty helping of prizes.
There's a lot of stuff. It's going to be rad. We're also doing that event, but we've also got people hanging out. Local installers afterwards are able to buy a ticket for about $50 to actually be present and hang out in the event, which is awesome. I love talking when my guys are just giggling.
You have to read G's
I saw G. Davis coming in dropping a bomb right there. No. That's an awesome one. Gigging in the canal.
That's enough of that.
But anyway, so
I'm not going to deny that good time.
Yeah, but the point is, please tune in for Wednesday the 10th.
Yeah.
Make sure you buy a ticket. Make sure you enter into the drawings. This is a really great chance to win some amazing prizes. Tell your friends, tell your family, join in. It's going to a great cause. And then we also have Dave Phillips coming into the studio for this Thursday's Q&A.
Yeah, exciting. I already built out the live Q&A for once, like really early, so people can actually go and click the reminder so that they don't forget.
That's right.
Because Dave will be here.
Dave will be here Thursday in studio, hanging out with us, answering all your detailing questions.
Well, I won't be here. He's going to sit in my place.
Yeah, he's going to sit in the middle. It's going to be fun.
So, more room for
Dane
people to ask
has
questions.
a family reunion he's going to.
Yeah.
Got some
I
stuff
heard it was
gotta
something
do that day.
family emergency, but then they said it
Well,
was
it's
a
not an
reunion, and
emergency.
I was like, oh, okay, that sounds
different
very-
words,
Okay.
different meanings.
Sometimes the Henin reunions can turn into an emergency.
Sure.
They
Real
can.
fast.
They can.
Sure.
Yeah.
You never really know.
Yeah.
So
Careful around cement and kids being carried on your shoulders. Folks.
Yes,
Yes.
yep, that is true. That happened once. So, getting into this, right? Other housekeeping things we need to cover. So, not only is Justin Pate doing his rap thing, we have Dave coming in tomorrow, and then I believe next week we have even after Justin's thing. I think it's the following week we have another kind of media focus thing that we're going to be doing. Now you're probably wondering what's in front of me here. Probably wondering what's going on this table.
Delicious
I have two very
donuts.
large donuts.
I
that
got
have
some
been-
donut
Okay,
holes
yeah.
for you to put in there.
This looks like something out of The Simpsons.
So,
They
fun fact.
straight up do.
So, Dane's father, his parents, right, his mom and dad, are moving out of their home that TRC started in, which is kind of bittersweet. Where it's where
It grew up in that garage.
he grew up in that garage where Dane had the only
cold
heater,
and the
He,
heat.
he took
And-
all the heaters,
took all the
put them
heaters.
under the desk to
in
keep him
fairness,
warm.
For a while there, I was the only one, but at a certain
Yes.
point, I did have an extra person helping
Yeah,
me.
who was
and
freezing.
I did steal a heater
You
from
stayed
her on
nice
more than
and
one
warm.
occasion.
Yeah.
Well-
and I will argue it was somewhat merited because her boyfriend had given her a heated jacket,
But
like a
only
Milwaukee
after
jacket
she
with
told
complete lining
after she
built in.
told him that you had taken the heater and wouldn't give it back.
Yeah, the order of events isn't
So,
important, but
So
they had to buy their own heated jacket.
back
I'm
on track.
messing.
Back on track here.
Yes.
So it's the house it started in. Gabe started the business there
Yeah, he
in
bought the
2000,
most people don't realize.
2012. Gabe's been running it.
Yeah.
He was the first employee ever, not Dane. And they've been clearing out their garage, right?
Yeah,
and there's
Gabe's
a-
the one that actually hired Dane.
Yep. There's a lot of I'm going to call it artifacts in that garage. You know, things remnants from a
belongs in a museum.
from a long time ago. And so Jeff said, you know, we have this fun idea where we would eventually like to build a towel museum. Like literally, like, you know, when you go into a museum, you know how they have like a mirrored shelf style feature that's glass.
Well, we'd have it start, and it would be like humble beginnings, and it would show Bev in her garage, but it would be a huge like 10 glass panel unit that's like staggered across. So from one angle, you see a large photo of Bev in her garage, and then from the other side, it's Jeff and Carolyn
Right.
in the garage on the other side, and there go the transition. Like
Yeah.
it's similar to what I saw at the Porsche Experience. We're looking at a facility similar to that.
Oh, wow.
Some sort of large place in which we could.
Did we
create
come into
that.
a giant piece of land I'm not aware of?
We'll find out.
Okay.
We have Dane's backyard. So we want to connect. We
Undevelopable
want to
limits.
eventually create some kind of thing that it's going to it's going to like not demonstrate. It's going to
Well, maybe
it's
like in
gonna-
the store, we'll put some shadow
like, well,
boxes or something.
Yeah, something
you know.
like that. So, but what's funny is that Jeff wanted me to talk about how, you know, over the years, right, we've had a lot of big successes with certain products, and we've had
Yeah.
a lot of products that were just giant hits. I mean,
Like Ultra Clay Towel.
Ultra
So
Clay
you're just
Towel.
going to sit here and brag about
Amazing.
Well, listen,
Amazing
Ultra Clay Towel,
product.
Eagle Edgeless, the
Dragos.
Gauntlet, the 1500, right, the Liquidator, Dragos,
Eagles.
right, taken from us, and all those fun types of things.
Yeah. All your favorites.
But at one point in time, there was quite a few product flops back in the day.
A lot of flops.
I can name a few. And the problem is, as soon as we talk about them, people watching are going to be
Well,
like,
well, let's
how
just
do I
say,
get my hands on
for one, there was a towel that was way ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Truly an amazing towel.
Chameleon?
That yes, Dane.
Yeah.
That all three of us really do love and think it's
Chameleon
an amazing.
840 was a
It's amazing, amazing towel. Perfect for rinseless washing. It's what I used originally before Big Red Sponge.
Yeah.
We don't have that anymore
Because
it didn't.
one towel could hold
Because
as
it,
much as
because it
sponge.
wasn't a big seller, but we also weren't a very big company back then.
No,
and
we
we
did
didn't have a
not
very
have the
large
reach.
reach. So that was something that kind of had to fall by the wayside. Anthony, what are these things?
So these right here are product fails. So at one point in time,
The free glove box towel.
the rag company
want
attempted to create buffing pads. We ourselves attempted to create buffing pads, and these are them right here. So this, let me go over here. This right here is literally the worst pad ever created.
It's so not good.
One side is kind of like almost like an Eagle material microfiber, and then the other side is a breathable hook and loop backing material. But this foam right here,
It's too soft.
There you go.
If
There
you're a
you go.
shameless salesman, you'd be
So-
like, it contours to every surface.
So, fun
The problem
fact.
is it doesn't do jack once it gets there.
So fun fact. Jeff Hennon gave me one of each of these pads to test and
Yeah.
try. And I'll say, when I saw them, I was like, oh, this won't work. But I tested it nonetheless. Put it on a 7-inch backing plate on a rotary. Lit that bad boy up.
Literally.
That pad lasted maybe all of 10 seconds on a rotary before it completely
It just delaminates.
delaminated, disintegrated.
Oh my God, I can't even. I can't post that. There, I posted it, but I'm changing it fast.
But that was the.
Oh my God.
But anyway, those
Gee,
pads,
you're on point
those
today.
pads, they show proof of an idea, of a concept,
Yes.
Yeah.
of something that could be done. You've got to remember those pads are almost 10 years old.
Yeah.
And pad technology has changed significantly in the last 10 years.
Boy, has it.
And we figured out it was easier to work with other companies than to try and create something for ourselves.
We're the rag company. We're not the pack.
Which is one of the reasons that we started co-branding a lot of our products with folks that manufacture those products.
Lake Country was incidentally
yeah.
the first one we co-branded.
That's also why we've never taken the name of a rag company product that was made by somebody else.
Yeah, don't you hate that
So
when you go to like
we've-
a detailing website and you see something you clearly know what the product is,
Right,
but then
yeah.
that company slaps their
Yeah.
name on top of it.
So
instead?
we've
You're like,
always wanted to give credit to those that actually make the proper
Yes.
piece of equipment. And what we've done is custom colors, so like the Detail Factory brushes. We created unique colors that are unique to us.
that way people, frankly,
Yeah.
here's a little marketing.
You can-
thing. They want our version because we're the only place you can get it, or
Yeah.
through our affiliates.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
So this next piece I have here to share with you today is an 1100, but it's an 1100 that's very interesting. This was a towel that was in production, but if we can actually get a shot of this, if you look at the stitching, this is not correct. So you have a short box here, you have a short box, a slightly bigger box, then you have a giant box here, right? And then you have a line down the middle. That doesn't make any sense from a stitching perspective. Then if you flip it over here,
What is
now
that?
you have squares.
yeah,
So this side is a bunch of weird rectangles,
Yep.
squares. So this towel right here is
and
actually,
a full overlock stitch all the way
Yeah.
around.
yeah. So the stitching on
One
this
corner zip.
was not the best, but it was fine. But this towel itself is actually very plush. It's very nice.
a very
It
nice towel.
Feels
Does it
just
still
like
feel as good today as it did when it was new?
just like the Eagle
Yes, it
material.
does.
Feels
It really
fantastic.
does.
It's got a nice kind of just flop to it. But yeah, the stitching is super strange on this towel, and this is obviously something that was
And
discontinued.
that's old school Eagle material.
long
too.
ago. Yeah, old school Eagle material. The Eagle material has drastically improved.
It's changed,
Anyways, I just wanted to share a couple of these fun things.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we're going to find more over the
Yeah,
course
as
of the
Jeff
next
goes
week.
through packing and cleaning.
Unearthing the vault.
He is
Yeah.
cleansing himself, he said. He says he's purging and it feels nice.
Wow.
I literally saw him
Cleansing fire.
walking a little taller yesterday.
Yeah,
after
he was,
purged.
wasn't he?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
like its
he's
spine
like
grew a little, he
who would have
just-
thought getting rid of Dane's old childhood toys and videotapes and everything that he loved would feel so
Yeah, especially
freeing.
when he had to burn everything. That was he said there was something like a cleansing fire.
Yeah.
And I said, "Wow, that sounds nice." And he
That
goes,
does
"Yeah,
sound
Carolyn
nice.
and I got some marshmallows.
So
Just
had a little
enjoyed a little
bonfire.
bit of s'mores over an open.
other than that,
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Children's ideas.
Wow.
anyway, so what I was trying to say
Yeah.
is that over the actually I wasn't going to say anything super important. Basically, I was going to
sound
say
like you're
I was-
ready to fall asleep.
No, I was going to say that the whole Choco Taco situation seems to
Oh,
be working
yeah.
in our favor. I mean, like
Yeah.
it seems
You
we're
guys are
creating
very
quite a
sad
bit of
about
buzz
that.
about
Created
it.
quite a bit of buzz.
And I'm hoping that Hostess,
Literally
not
days
Hostess,
after you talked
Klondike
about
sees
that.
this.
Yeah.
So I'm
The word
hoping
came out.
I'm hoping Klondike.
Hopefully, if
sees-
you have friends, family, work at Klondike, know anybody at Klondike, get them listening to the podcast, listen to us talking about
keep
it.
the Choco Taco.
Keep that Choco Taco alive. I will say, August stated the other day while imbibing a Choco Taco, how come they get rid of something that I just fell in love with. And I said, "It's how life is, man. It's how it's going to be."
Life
Then-
ain't that person.
Then
It
last
doesn't care
night
about you
he goes, "I'm
individually.
going to have a Choco Taco." I said, "You're not even done with your dinner yet." And he goes, "I'm going to have one." And I said, "Eat your dinner, and maybe later you can have one." Maybe later we forgot about giving him a Choco Taco, but Carly and I ate it instead.
Oh,
And it was the last Choco Taco in the fridge or in the freezer. So I have to go find some Choco Tacos tonight to replace them so that my son doesn't lose faith in humanity.
wow.
Yeah.
That his Choco Taco that I had promised him is gone.
Yeah.
So
Oh, crazy. That's pretty much
We've
it for
gotten to that
housekeeping.
point.
Yeah, we're all really tired. So this last week's been one of the hottest that we've had here this year.
Oh, it's exhausting.
And I'm sure everybody else in the country is probably feeling it as well. But over the weekend, we hit anywhere from 105 to 107, depending on where area of the city you're in.
Triple digits, solidly.
And it's been really tough. I mean, basically, it's almost like we had this whole conversation, right? I feel like we've had this conversation before on the podcast.
Yeah.
Talking about how in the summertime, we're like, winter sounds really nice. In the wintertime, summer sounds really nice. And you're always trying to like justify why in the wintertime summer's better, because at least if it's hot outside, you still have the cool summer nights or the warm summer
Right.
nights. And then also, you can be in an AC conditioned area and it's fine. And, you don't have to wear as many layers and you can still do everything you want to do. Whereas in the wintertime, you are limited because you cannot do everything because of just the weather itself. But you can be warm. You can still enjoy drives and doing all that kind of stuff that you want to do in that beautiful, cool weather where you're not overheating and things are falling apart. So I don't know. I the hard part is fall is our jam. I think all of us here can agree that fall is the best, right,
yes.
Levi?
Yes. I love fall with a passion.
We love fall, right? But we
Junkyard weather.
get fall junkyard weather. There's nothing like Dixon flannels,
Yep.
junkyards, coffee, or whatever you want to bring.
Diet Pepsi.
Diet Pepsi, and going for a junkyard walk in the morning
Yeah.
on a brisk fall day,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
finding your parts that you've been wanting, right?
But fall and spring are very short around here.
They are very
you
short.
Get like
It's
our
3
fall
weeks,
consists
Dane.
of-
It's literally 3 weeks.
But our fall, apart from the 3 weeks where it like very consistently is fall, the other parts of it that are technically fall feel more like on any given day it could still be summer or you're kicked
So,
into winter.
my
now. So
favorite-
it could snow or it could be a scorcher. You
So
don't know.
this is something this kind of gets into the heart of what I am.
Oh,
That first cold night
I love
when you
that.
walk outside and you're like, and you take a breath and you're like, and it's brisk
You can see it.
and you can feel
Yeah.
it and you're like, ooh. You
I
just
guess
feel
we're-
that in.
I
you
guess
just
we're
breathe
here
it in.
now. Yeah.
Oh, there's something where you just want to. I just want to stand there for a second. And when I was a smoker, this was
Let
a
it
really
pour
fun
over
time
you.
because I could go out, I'd take that deep breath, that icy cold air, and then I would make sure I could feel it again by taking another breath, but a drag on a menthol, which was also icy cold air.
Yeah.
So I feel like I was taking
You
it
were getting
twice.
double breaths.
Yeah, double breaths of it. But no, it was seriously like I'd go outside and smoke, and I'd love those nights when I could do that because I'd be like, oh, I can enjoy this. This is gonna be a good time. And now I'll let the dog out
Yeah.
when that happens, and I go, oh, this is gonna be nice. We're getting there. We're right into
You
it.
chew a piece of menthol gum if you wanted
Yeah.
to bring back the old days.
Yeah.
No, so yeah, the weather's been pretty tough, but I think that goes very much into our topics of today. So, Dane, do you want to start us out with your toasty weekend?
Man, well, I have myself a time. I've been talking for a while about, doing the whole streaming thing. I thought it'd be fun, but I also realized, it's a lot of work, and it's way, way easier to do what we're doing here when you've got some people.
Right.
to, like,
You
bounce it
see
off.
where I got stuck in my podcast.
Yeah,
It's
it
hard
is-
to do it on your
is
own and be a
so
voice in a
difficult
closet.
if you don't make a habit, unless you're the kind of person who just naturally. An internal monologue is one thing.
Well, you got to remember, Twitch, though, you can have commenters.
right.
Get enough
And
commenters, you
it
technically
helps.
playing
But
off
the
of
problem
them.
is when you're starting out, you don't have that.
Yeah.
You don't have anybody watching your stuff. You're just there talking into the void. So I've been setting up the streaming setup, and I actually did my first stream this weekend, and I was very pleasantly surprised. I actually had some of the regulars here who wanted to come in and support and stuff. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
That really made it a lot
was
more
nice.
fun. But it was an opportunity for me to go off on those tangents that sometimes I've been tempted to do here that I was like, well, that's not really appropriate on a detailing program to go talking about some really niche car subject or something. So I spared you here, but if you do enjoy that really nerdy stuff, then hey, feel free to join me over there. So that's kind of been the deal.
So other than Twitch, are you? You're
I
also
did for 4 hours.
Are you doing live streaming on like Cam Soda or anything?
Oh God, no.
Is that not the same thing as like a Twitch?
Is there like what's that one that people used to do where they'd like you'd search through people?
Oh yeah, that was called
that was like Omegle or whatever, or Chat Roulette.
Chat Roulette.
I remember.
Is that the same thing?
Like in college and high school, like they had those like really rudimentary, but it was just like click and you're just like get rid of that person, next person. All right, let's talk.
Chat Roulette ruined me.
Yeah, no, there's some horrifying things that'll happen to you if you're paying attention.
So
anyway,
you're streaming on Twitch.
Yeah.
Only Twitch, not YouTube.
No, because I mean this is getting inside baseball, but Twitch, while it does have like the DMCA, copyright strike stuff protections, like it'll mute your stream if it detects audio and stuff. I've just found in my years of experience with YouTube that YouTube are way, way more aggressive about how they, attack that stuff. If there's even a hint, like you've seen it, you've gone to like a car show or something and somebody's playing music in the background. It's really faint, but it's there. Mm-hmm. YouTube will be like, I smell copyright music. Mm-hmm. Bam! Hits you with the mute button immediately. And you're just...
what did I do?
This sucks. Mm-hmm. I had it in there for 2 seconds. Technically, fair use dictates I can use it for up to 15 seconds or so. But no, you don't get that kind of luxury there. So it is very frustrating. But Twitch is a little less aggressive about it because they understand you're live. Yeah. So things can happen while you're live that you don't necessarily have control over. And in my case, I really put it to the test because I put on like a music stream in the background, but it was like technically DMCA friendly, copyright free, just like YouTube looping 10-hour video of music that I could use as like a music bed to put in the background just to keep it from being so quiet and boring, Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it worked, but it still muted me in a few places. Very weird where it chose to mute me, but for the most part it was fine. But if you're watching during the live, it's not muted during the live. So if you're watching in real time, you don't experience that. It's only for the people who check in afterwards.
Gotcha.
But I really enjoyed doing it. And like Demo here, thanks, man. Glad you watched it. I appreciate that. But yeah, I actually had fun, and I think I'll continue doing it. And it's kind of funny because I'll cut my weekend short. Basically, last night, I tried the other half of it because the first time I did it, I was just talking while like surfing YouTube and stuff. So like, let's look at a video and hey, what do you guys want to look at today? And we can kind of talk about it as we're going through. Or let's do hypothetical car builds. Let's look on Craigslist, see what's available right now in the local area. Something fun, Yeah. Throw it out there, just little entertainment. But so last night, Anthony and I were playing Forza Horizon 5.
We were
on the Xbox there.
You were live streaming?
And I found that I could live stream directly from my Xbox without attaching a PC or doing any of the other stuff. It's literally they have a Twitch app built into the Xbox. You just have to go through a whole bunch of settings in the back end to get it to work right. But I took a webcam off the computer, just went and plugged it into the Xbox, and it turns out it works. So that was kind of cool. So I did, just because I knew G. Davis would love this, I did, all right, massage chair gaming. So I just set it up like where I had it on like a bendy arm, and I'm just like, all right, I'm sitting in the massage chair. It's got the RGBs like lighting up. And this looks so stupid, but I'm just going to do it and see if anybody watches.
Nice. All
so
right.
Yeah, I did that, and I found it was actually really fun. But the downside of it is, first of all, the angle in the massage chair being filmed, guy my size is not flattering at all because you're sitting out here like this,
and your legs
are anyway.
Yeah, and there's the legs are kind
it is not good. No. See, I pushed the camera back. I don't want any weirdos taking pics of my feet, so I'm just like we're moving backwards.
Stirrups? Why are those on the massage chair?
That's interesting.
Dane did 90 minutes on the origins of monkeypox.
Thank you, buddy.
Massage chair gaming, not to be confused with massage chair pegging. Now, is it called stirrups or stirrups? Stirrups, right? Stirrups.
Like on a horse.
Stirrups.
Stirrups. So,
yeah. Basically, I was just testing it out.
Yeah.
It wasn't really meant to be like
A
an
lot of people
official
say
stream
that.
or anything, but it was just a little tester. Now, I've deleted those videos since because what happened was a series of technical difficulties, not with the video itself, but rather with the audio. I was trying to get it so you could hear the party chat, which is basically how Anthony and I
Right.
communicate. So I wanted people to be able to hear Anthony's side of stuff as we talk, so it's more fun. It's just
Right,
like
yeah. They feel
riffing
like they're
while
hanging
you're
out with you playing video games.
Yeah.
And I have to like dive into a million menus worth of stuff to somehow unlock the ability for the privacy controls to allow Anthony to be heard, because it's trying to like, you know,
Yeah,
I understand
protect Anthony.
kids on the internet from weirdos live streaming
Yeah.
when they don't have their consent or something. Totally get that.
Yeah.
But Anthony's not, you know, some vulnerable person. He knows his
plenty
voice will be heard.
vulnerable, Dane.
He talks. He likes when
I don't
people
want to
listen
get.
to him.
I don't want to get taken advantage. That's not
yeah,
true at all.
I mean, you're totally fine with being live streamed and talking to an audience. I
Yeah.
think you're a-okay with that.
yeah, that doesn't bother me.
So yeah,
literally
so
what's
I'm
happening
working
right now.
on figuring
It's
that
literally what
out,
our jobs are.
and then going forward, I will make it just kind of a staple. Or if it was something I was going to do anyway, if I was going to play video games anywhere, I was going to do something that didn't involve like me going off and actually doing something in the garage or around the house. If I'm going to do it anyway, I can just live stream it, invite people into my home, and they can hang out while we do that, and that's fun.
Oh, like
And-
an
and just-
MTV Cribs with Dane.
Yeah, I mean, that's a way to look
Hey,
at it.
welcome.
So
Let's go down into the
essentially,
podcast
that
room.
was. I like this though, G. Davis. My wife walked during the live Twitch. Don't you get enough of these people on Monday and Thursdays? Oh, gee, that's a question only you can answer.
Yeah.
Buddy. But yeah, I mean that was essentially
She
it.
did
So-
text me and said he feels like he's spending too much time with you.
Hey, we're giving him the opportunity. If he wants to, he can. He doesn't have to. I think.
I
we may be
think you need to
feeding-
invite
we may be
G in on the
feeding
pool
a spiraling
activities.
man's addiction, though. That may not be good.
So, Dane, I do have to ask. Well, it's all live streaming aside. The important question is how's the pool holding up?
Yeah.
No, I've deflated that.
fallen
thing.
down the side
I
of the-
emptied it out. I need
Oh.
to.
Is it still on the grass?
Currently,
Yeah.
it's folded up.
Oh,
It's been folded up,
Burned
so it's
it.
not.
So you used it once.
I used it really officially once. It did get used probably 3 or 4 times by other people, but yeah, I'm just admitting defeat. This summer was so hot, I just didn't want to be outside to even like try and manage it, because by the time it was cool enough to go out there and manage it, it was like, oh, it's so late, I can't really.
So what I will say is having at my pool. I'm not getting without jumping into my weekend. Just want to say,
Yeah.
the sun has warmed up that ring, that inflatable ring around
hot.
the top, right?
It's scorching.
And it expands it, right?
Yeah,
Basically,
well,
it
heats it up.
heats it up,
Yeah.
and so the sun, the air that's in it, expands it. So now it starts kind of like overlapping and like bulging, right? There's a lot of bulging happening.
Yeah.
And
It's like it's got
the
elephantitis.
cover doesn't fit on it anymore
Oh.
because it bulged
Oh.
up too much. So we can't even put a cover on the pool. So right now the cover is just floating in the pool, which is
Okay.
like super trashy.
Well, now it's
I'm
a
like,
solar cover.
Yeah,
but
it's
I don't know
solar
what else
cover.
to do. I either go get a tarp or I go. I
You
don't
can
know.
go even trashier and get a tarp.
Yeah, like so we're
Get some
gonna
drawstrings and a tarp.
We need to order like a
do it.
15-foot cover. That way it covers the
With
whole
some
thing.
gator
It's
clamps.
Just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just right now. It's the dirtiest it's ever been because it hasn't been covered,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of embarrassed about it. So I'm hoping my
Yeah.
wife listens to this. She can order another cover off of Amazon or something. But we're getting
Yeah.
towards the end of summer, though.
Yeah.
We've gotten about 20 to 25 uses out of that pool.
That's good.
I'd say that I'm
You got your money's
feeling
worth.
pretty.
You got your money's worth.
I
out
mean,
of
it was $100.
I spent $50 more than you and got a fraction of the time you did out of yours. But
Yeah.
in the end, I did really enjoy it while I had it there. But I've got some notes for how I'm going to deal with it next time.
Mario-
And yes, I probably should have bought a smaller pool.
Mario also has a bulging problem with his
Okay,
pool.
well, Mario.
And it didn't say pool specifically, but
Same. Well, no, it's
Stop
same.
looking at pictures of good
same
looking
bulging-
pools.
bulging problem.
So to answer Joey's question here, yes, the Mac Studio did arrive. That's what I did my first stream on this weekend. So what you saw in that stream was me using the Mac Studio
Wow.
that I got.
So you both got Mac Studios.
Yeah,
The
no,
company did-
I absolutely love it.
How'd you get those? Who gave them to you?
so me, I worked a deal with the devil.
Oh,
Talked
perhaps,
to my wife.
Oh, wow.
And,
wow, that's not a nice thing to...
No, I love her to death. So I talked to her, and we made it work. Basically, I had to sell my other MacBook solution packages that I have curated
Okay,
built
alright.
over time.
Yeah.
It's kind of a light trade.
Basically, light trade. Go over and do that.
Sell them
and there was
kind of like I have to do that with bicycles.
there was a man I met in an alley that
Okay.
said,
Whoa.
"Hey, I heard you're looking for a Mac Studio." And I
Yeah.
said, "Potentially. What do you got?" Right? He opened up his trench coat. Right? There wasn't anything in his trench coat,
Oh, I
but
thought it
I
was
was
gonna be a bunch of
like,
Mac Studios. It's like,
"Well,
wow,
this
that's
is
weighing it
interesting.
down.
It's never happened before." He says, "Well, now that that's done."
Right.
Let me walk you into this Apple shop.
Yeah.
And I said, what was the trench coat thing about? And he said, I just wanted to show you.
Yeah, they're cool.
And
They're cool to
so,
wear.
but yeah, I went and picked one up and got a good deal on it. And it's very upgraded. It's amazing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you traded old Macs for this Mac.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you do with yours?
I got a Mac Mini that I'm looking to replace. The Studio took its place. So now the Mac Mini is up for sale. And I had a bunch of Best Buy incentives. So I actually used my Best Buy setup to get a base model one they had in stock. Because with the Studio, yeah, I'll be editing video from time to time, but I'm not doing like the 3D
So really,
graphics
the
work
question
these
I
guys are.
have is, can the Studio do email?
Yes.
So it does
Is
have
it capable
access-
of doing email and internet searching?
It has
Those are the two
access
things that are important
to those
to me.
things, but it doesn't have a screen.
Oh, so how do you surf the internet?
That's the hard part.
You got to get a whole monitor.
Yeah.
A whole monitor?
Yeah.
What about if you already have like a television or a monitor?
Yeah. You could
Then
probably-
you're basically
look that up.
just due for a cord, and you put the two together.
So for you guys who want to
Maybe
know,
an HDMI.
the MOSHQ has 2 old screens
Okay.
as well as a television that's bent.
Bent?
Yeah, it fell off the wall over here, remember?
Oh,
the TV
snap.
that fell and bent. So I got 3 of those.
I remember that
Oh
one.
my god! Oh, it's so funny. Anyway, so Dane, continue your weekend. What else do you do?
Yeah, so that was basically the extent of my
streaming.
efforts this week.
A lot of live streaming.
Just doing the whole Great Dane Films on Twitch thing.
Follow
But
Great Dane Films on Cam Soda.
I just don't. Well, you probably won't find anybody. If they are there, it's not me. I'm sorry in advance.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So I really enjoyed it though. It was a lot of fun, and I'm gonna try and make it into a semi-regular habit. I mean,
What do you think? A couple times a week or once
yeah,
a
a
week?
few times a week, and then whenever playing games and stuff, if I can get the Xbox to work with the party chat, that'd be so much more fun.
Yeah.
Then I'd be good.
What
with
does Liz
that.
think? She's supportive of your
Oh, yeah,
live
totally.
streaming endeavors?
Yeah.
She like it?
She totally gets all that.
Okay.
She's really nerdy and into all that kind of stuff, so she totally gets it.
Does Sassy jump on your lap or do anything like
on
that?
her lap, yes.
On
like
hers.
Sassy hangs
Okay.
out with her all the time. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I didn't know if maybe
Sassy's
you're
great.
in the chair gaming, doing the live stream, and
Right.
Sassafras hops up on there and
I mean,
chills
the
out on
internet
your
loves
stomach.
cats,
Yeah.
so that would be a really good
she's a
shameless
beautiful
way
Hemingway
to
Russian
build an
blue.
audience. Yeah,
So
but polydactyl too. So
that's
yeah,
what Hemingway means.
yeah. So I do not have that, but well, Hemingway to me means other things. But yeah.
In cat speak, it's polydactyl.
yeah, we are in Idaho. Anyway, that's basically how I spent my weekend.
Nice.
So yeah, figuring that out. Got it to work. Really happy. Some kinks work out on the Xbox end. But once we do that, I think it'll be pretty fun with fairly regular releases and stuff. So
Nice.
yeah, that's what I'll be doing in my spare time.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. How about you guys?
Well, my weekend was detailing another car this weekend. Last weekend when I got home, I detailed a car as well. So
Yeah.
when I got back from Atlanta last weekend, or 2 weekends ago, finished a detailed job, got that all done, coated a vehicle, utilizing some of our new mysterious coating that
Right.
worked wonders. I was very impressed with this one. There's different generations, different styles of the coating. So
Right.
put one on, easy peasy, breezy, cover girl kind of style stuff. I was like, this is awesome. Then I got a new radiator ordered for the Suburban.
Right. Can you
So-
remind people again what happened?
Oh, so we were getting ready to go camping, right? So I finished detailing that was last weekend. I finished detailing the car. They came and picked it up, wrote me a check. I was like, sweet, got a nice tip on the check. So I was like, nice. And then proceeded to grab the Suburban, run an errand with it, came back, parked it, then went back into the house, grabbed some stuff, started getting all of our camping gear organized because I had totes and boxes and suitcases and stuff all set up. Walked outside. I said, I'm going to back the Suburban into the garage because it was kind of getting warm. right?
The last 4 or 5 weeks have all been
Yeah.
verging on or above triple
Yeah,
digit.
yeah, but it was like almost 100 outside.
Yeah.
And I wanted to load the Suburban in the shade rather than in the sun. So I thought I'll just back it up into the garage.
I'm listening.
I'll load everything.
I'm sending Nick some photos.
I'll load everything in the garage. That way I'm a little cooler, right?
Sure.
Turn on the fan. So I'm loading the Suburban up. As I'm loading the Suburban, all of a sudden I hear this boom. Now the truck isn't running. It's been off for a while.
Okay.
What happened was radiator exploded.
Just too much pressure? Went
Just old
through it,
and
or-
cracked and exploded. So
It found the weak
Yeah.
spot and just went
Yep.
right out.
Dumped all the antifreeze all over the driveway as I'm loading the Suburban, getting ready to go. So I had to call my dad, told him, he said, I'll bring my truck over. You can hook up the truck. Carly's like, let's just cancel the camping trip. I said, no, we're going camping. So long story short, we ended up taking my dad's truck. It worked fine. Towed the trailer up there. My kids rode in the motorhome with my dad and my stepmom. They loved it. We had a great time up at Creekside camping for 2 days. Had a blast. And then right when we got home, I ordered a new radiator for the Suburban. Pulled the Suburban onto the side of the house and just left it there.
It's a
Then-
GM radiator. How expensive could that be?
They range, Dane, from $200 for a cheap no-name knockoff brand that'll probably explode in the next 6
Yeah.
months to a fully custom-built aluminum 4-core, 5-core radiator
She got that.
for $2,500.
Oh, maybe not.
So I got a nice, right in the middle, TYC 2538 radiator for the Suburban
Okay.
at $352 shipped, along with a plethora of new Gates branded hoses.
You had to get Gates.
I always got to get Gates. Trust the Gates. So I got some new Gates branded hoses for the lowers and stuff. I'd already done all the oil cooler lines and transmission cooler lines last year, and all the upper radiator hoses were all good.
But the
they
radiator
were all brand
itself
new.
was original.
The radiator itself was original to the truck. So, but anyway, so I got all that stuff ordered. Then this weekend I had another coating job. I used another version of the mysterious coating.
What vehicle this is?
This one, so the last one was a AMG, or was a Toyota 4Runner or Land Cruiser, full coating, carpet, upholstery, or carpet, interior, leather, and paint. Coated all of it. This one was just an exterior coating on a brand new GLE 350.
Oh, that's nice.
Pretty car, white,
Yeah, the
cream
white looked good in the
interior.
pictures.
I'm falling in love with those GLEs. I
Are you
really
really?
like the. I don't know what it is. I really like
Do you
those.
want to buy one?
I would
Potentially?
love to have one, but they're still like 50 grand used.
Yeah,
So,
it's-
2 years old, they're still 50 grand. So,
the Mercedes are supposed to depreciate.
yeah, if they were like 25, I'd be like, oh, all right. But
Give it a few more
2 years old and they're still 50 is a lot of money. So, but anyway, did the coating. Now, it was hot.
Yeah.
I sent you guys pictures. It was 106 outside.
Yeah.
And it was 79 in my garage with 25% humidity or 20% humidity. I thought should be okay. I'm right at the top level of 80 degrees.
Yeah.
I hate applying a coating at 80 degrees. I could have turned my fans off to apply this coating and take it off. I left my fans on. Big mistake.
No.
It was so hot in there. I did one panel and I wiped it off and I was like, all right, pretty good. Did the second panel. All right, pretty good. Made it around, got half the car done, made it around to the back where I had a fan blowing. Got the back door done, set the coating stuff down, grabbed the towel and went to touch and the coating had completely cured and hardened.
Ooh.
And I was like,
wow.
oh, this isn't coming off. And I
And
started
we-
stressing,
Yeah.
right? Because I'm like,
What do I do?
and then I remember, oh, we've talked. It's cannibalistic.
Mm-hmm.
A little more on there.
Yep.
Wipe it on. Go to wipe it off, but it's the time from when I was setting it. It was curing so fast
Yeah.
Yeah.
that I needed to be able to wipe it on and have someone come immediately behind me to wipe it off.
That's the kind of testing this stuff needs, though, because
Right. No,
you're
this
in
is-
that pinch scenario.
I'm in 80-degree weather
it's
with
about
fans,
to
right?
completely bite you in the
Yeah.
butt, and then
So-
you remember, oh yeah, it can do this. It's expensive to
Yeah.
use more, but at
Yeah.
the same time, you saved your butt.
So, no. So,
Oh no, so it didn't.
So it started hardening even harder, and I was calling Anthony and telling him everything that I was finding. Used their spray sealant.
Okay.
Pulled that one out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sprayed some on a towel.
Mm-hmm.
Put it on there. Just see what happens. See if I can get this off. Because at this point, I'm going to buff it off.
Yeah.
Spray it on there. Helps wipe off the dried on coating.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, here we go. Get it all off. Put more coating on the applicator pad. Think, well, let's just try putting it on again. Put it on, and it'll wipe it off. Now, both products are very similar in their chemistry. And so that's one of the reasons it worked, but it's much slipperier in the sense that it was able to remove this old coating. Finished coating the whole car.
Didn't get ahead of yourself after that,
Didn't get ahead of myself at all because of the fans.
Yeah.
If I would have turned the fans off, because I noticed on one side I had less airflow,
Yeah.
and I was sweating and I was hot. The other side I had like 5 fans hitting me.
Mm-hmm.
That was what was causing. So the fans were what was causing the chemical to activate that much faster on the surface, the wind on the surface. So it was drying.
Air causing it
Yeah,
to-
so had I shut off all my fans, it probably would have been good, but I probably would have increased the temperature too much in the garage, so then I would probably run into the exact same situation. So anyway, got it done. Car looked great. I cleaned up a couple spots. The lady had just bought this brand new. She had flown to Yakima to pick it up. Drove it back from Yakima on Thursday. On her drive back, hit a rock.
Oh.
Right in the middle of the windshield.
Oh.
Huge crack across her windshield.
Wow.
And she's like, brand new car.
I was just saying,
Busted
would you
windshield.
rather your windshield than your actual paint?
Yeah,
I would. Personally.
I would say windshield out rather than paint.
Even with all the sensors.
But I
and
was going to
crap.
coat her windshield for her. That was something I was going to do just because, and I
She gotta
couldn't.
come back
'cause
and do that later.
She's going to have to come back. But I've got her scheduled for this next weekend with her new car or with her old car.
Oh.
If it sells, I'll find out tomorrow. If she's selling it, then I can bump one of my other customers into that spot. But yeah, so those were the cars. As soon as they left, when they picked up the Mercedes, I pulled the Suburban in to the garage, backed it into show position. Got my little ladder out and started disassembling everything to pull the radiator, because I have the radiator arriving today. Last night, so Sunday night I started pulling the radiator. I got the hoses, got the shroud, got the battery out, all of the stuff. Then it said to remove the fan blade, and I couldn't get the fan blade off.
Yeah.
So I had to rent a tool. So I went last night, rented the tool, took all of 20 seconds, hooked the tool on, put the wrench on, pull it off, no problem. Got it all.
Okay.
Got everything else off, got hoses off, got everything ready to go. Went to pull the radiator, couldn't get it out.
Like caught on something?
Every YouTube channel I've watched shows these guys going, you pull this, you get to here, and then you just lift it out. And I'm like,
There's like a
my
step
radiator
missing.
is huge. And these are all 8.1s. So
Also, it wasn't like they were doing a 5.3 motor and like, here's how it works.
no, there were guys that are doing that. But at the same time, I'm like,
But trying to sell it to an 8.1 guy.
yeah. And I'm like, I would look and I'm like, oh, that video was a 6-liter. Like, then I find another 8.1 video and watch that. And I'm like, that guy's just pulling it out. This is crazy. So I get Carly out there. I say, I need you to come out here and help me. She comes out in her dress. I give her some of my mechanics gloves, the impacts. I go, here, you hold on this side. I'm going to hold on this side. There's some sharp edges, so wear the gloves. And we're shaking, trying to get it out. Trying to get it out. And I'm like, man, it is like there is a piece of metal that is not letting the radiator get past it.
It's still attached somewhere.
Right? Yeah. So I'm like, this is nuts. So I'm getting frustrated.
Yeah.
76 degrees last night in the garage. It's 102 outside. So I'm in the cool, but it's frustrating. So I just say,
Which
let's
raises
stop.
the temp in its own
Yeah,
way.
so I'm just like, it's not coming out. Just stop, Carly. And she's like, okay. And she goes, do you want to call your dad? And I said, yeah, I might have him come over and just help me. If anything, it'll help me put it back together faster.
Yeah.
If I have a second pair of hands. And my dad is, for all intents and purposes, single-handedly an amazing mechanic and built race cars and builds hot rods and can do a lot of stuff. He just doesn't feel like he needs to do it anymore.
Yeah.
But he has the skill set that is like, he knows more about anything than I think anybody. So we've always joked that he's the jack of all trades, master of none. The guy can do anything and everything. So I'm like, let me call my dad.
Yep.
So I call him. I say, hey, you want to come over tomorrow night? So he's going to come over tonight. He's like, yeah, boy, I'll be there. I'll come over. I'll be there at 5:30. I said, I won't be home till 6. I'll be there at 5:30. All right, whatever.
Enjoy waiting.
So yeah, so I get done. I go hop in the shower because I'm sweaty. We've been out here in the garage, in the shop all day working here.
Its own.
So it was hot. Like I was just tired. And I thought, screw this. So I'm sitting in the bathroom, going to the bathroom pre-shower.
Yeah.
I pull out my phone, and I'm enjoying the ice-cold bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking on YouTube, and I find a video.
Okay.
And I'm like, I haven't seen this. This hasn't come up in the search. And all I'm searching for is 8.1 liter radiator replacement.
Yeah.
It's a guy's video. It's a dude in his garage.
Okay. I mean, as most of those videos.
And most of these videos are, right? Not like an A1
or
a 1A parts video where they
Yeah,
actually do
yeah.
the part stuff and they show you these are the tools you're going to need. This is everything. And they have a very nice
It's
system.
very laid out. No, these are
Yeah,
like
this
DIY
is-
home video. Just
Yeah,
like
this is
that.
a dude building stuff. So
Yeah.
I watch his video and I skip ahead to where I'm at. And I'm watching it. And I haven't seen this video before. And he like stops. He's like, all right, so we're here at this spot. So I'm just going to pop this off. And then there's 3 bolts on this panel. You just pull that out. And I go, are you kidding me?
Mother.
Yeah.
That is the one piece that I need to remove. And no other video has told me to do that.
That's why I like
how
the
it
home
And that's exactly
DIY.
why I'm stuck. And this guy posts and goes, yeah, you just got to pop this and pull this.
No,
and
but
then it
for,
just
like, the-
pulls right out. And
The
I'm
car
like,
repair videos on YouTube. That's why I like the just like random crappy phone footage of a guy working in his engine bay at home, because they will oftentimes show the stuff that a really professional polished video just like glosses over, right? Because
well,
get
we,
the
all,
step by
we
step.
can't
like
all
they-
be like Aldi Anthony, who
Oh,
creates really nice high-end
They'll lay it all
quality
out, but you
content.
know they're cutting out a bunch of the
Yeah.
swearing and the cutting and the all that stuff. But they oftentimes leave out parts that are like critical components, and you see it in the comments all the time.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking at like a popular type of video for a given vehicle where it's like a common thing people have to do, you'll see in the comments like, "I'm just trying to figure out this one thing, and no video I found shows this
Yeah.
one part. What am I missing?" And there it is.
That's all it
It
was. So
it was missing all along.
I showed Carly,
Yeah.
and she started laughing. And she goes, and you watched how many videos before you did this? And I said, like 6 of them. She goes, but you didn't watch this one? I said, no. And she goes, well,
you
now
don't
you
know
know
what
how to
you
do
don't
it.
know.
Yeah. So I go, great. So I go back and I watch those other 6 videos. Many times they are reinstalling those 2 parts that they never showed that they needed to remove. Shows them reinstalling, and I was so
It's like
I was so upset
that
and
they're
mad at these horrible YouTubers.
What are these extra
I was-
machine screws for? Oh,
Yeah,
right.
so-
that thing I didn't show.
Good news,
Yeah.
I can remove all those pieces.
What?
And
What
here's
would a
the thing.
radiator be on a horse? I'm
Yeah.
very curious now. Please, somebody explain.
Well, it's for the AC unit.
Well,
So-
maybe it's the
Yeah.
tail switching. I don't know.
Something like that.
But but now the good news is I can reorganize. So I'm going to pull the air box out. I've got the overflow tank that's next to it, and then I've got a gap. And in that gap, I've bought a metal support rack
Okay.
that mounts in there that is to hold the second battery.
Right, okay.
So I am going to, now that I have to take the rest of the airbox out and all that, I'm just going to pull all of this tonight because the reservoir tanks, technically everything's disconnected from it.
Yeah.
So all I need to do is pull it out. It's empty. So I'm just going to clean that whole passenger side bay out, put in the new second battery tray so I can start running my dual battery setup in Ragnarok.
Now, what was the reasoning behind that
What?
for the dual batteries?
So I can have 2 batteries.
I mean, is there some particular reason you need more power than a standard Suburban is able to provide?
Dane, we have it's Ragnarok. It is
I get that.
literally,
I'm just looking for
literally
the-
one of the highest production engines ever put in a vehicle.
Are you camping in it? Are you running Christmas lights on it for like days on end? Are
Well,
you-
I do run Christmas lights on it,
I know you do that, but
and
is it like a whole other battery worthy though? Like,
Yes.
Oh, okay.
also the number
That's all I
of
wanted
lights
to
that I
know.
got from my friends at Oxbeam, going to be
Ah.
able to power all of them without worrying about that battery.
There it is. Okay, that makes more sense. Got it.
No, I just wanted a second battery. One, because when I have the trailer connected,
Yeah.
my battery and my alternator help charge the trailer.
Oh, see, now that
And
makes a difference.
so if I'm running a second battery in the truck, the second battery in the truck will charge the trailer, or I can leave the truck plugged in, and I can run the second house battery on the trailer. So that's I don't think you can show that, Dane.
I can't, but it cracked me.
I saw, yeah. That's amazing. So Anthony left, if you're watching your bingo chart. You got one, Anthony gets up and leaves. But yeah, so that's kind of my plan now. Now that I know,
Yeah.
it was frustrating to go, I've watched so many. Normally YouTube doesn't let me down. I can watch a video and I go, oh,
Yeah.
done. Like I did all the struts on the Elantra. They came out perfect.
Sure.
This was the most frustrating thing to see that and go, why has no one talked about this?
No,
so
yeah,
thank you,
totally.
sir,
That makes
whoever you are
much
that
better
made that
sense.
YouTube video that I watched last night.
You don't have a name you can shout out or anything? Or
I don't. I have to look it. I'd have to look it up. But anyway, it was just nice to finally see that, and I could like chill out and relax. And
Well, finally, the problem of the week or month has been solved.
yeah, so
yeah.
I'll get like I said, I'll get the new radiator today, so that'll be nice. I got a new lower radiator hose. I figure I might as well, since I'm already here,
Yeah.
I might as well take everything out on that side, put the dual battery place in. I don't have a battery yet, and I don't have the rest of the wiring set up yet, but at least I'll have that there. So I can set up the wiring setup and then buy another battery and make
Yeah.
everything good.
Now,
So
you do the dual battery setup. Were you you always talked about sistering the tanks or something. Were you gonna do anything with that?
so yeah, so I still have to put in a new fluid reservoir for my windshield washers.
Okay, so that's not currently in
no,
there.
that's not
Is that
in
why
there.
that gap is there?
No, this is
Oh,
on the
okay.
other side.
Other
So
side.
the problem is all my hoses when we were replacing that fender, some of them broke. They're old plastic. They're super brittle plastic, and I remember touching one and it snapping in my hand, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So
Yeah.
I got to get some new hosing. I'm trying to figure out a spot for that. I found one out of an S10. That's
Okay.
just a square box.
Yeah.
So that way I figured a square box would be easier to fit than some sort of long elephant shaped or giraffe shaped box. So that's what I'm going to do. But Anthony, tell us about your weekend. Oh man. So what was happening?
did he
What
go?
what happened there? You just
I was
disappeared
falling
for a second.
asleep. I was falling. It's too long a radiator talk. I was falling asleep.
I was telling you exactly what was going on.
I know. I can't.
I was
the
very
radiator-
loud too. I was projecting my voice.
I mean,
Ow.
I appreciated it.
I have some donuts if you needed to.
Hold a
I
little
just
sugar.
went out there, grabbed some pre-workout, dry scooped it.
Oh,
I got it in my throat. It's
I don't think you're supposed to do that.
like a
That's
build,
a
I have like
terrible
build
idea.
up in my throat right now. But you know what? I feel alive. Feel
It's just
kinda,
being soaked into the membrane.
I got
Yeah,
some
feel
pre-workout here too.
I'm kind of crazy now.
A little guy there. Yeah.
All right, woo! Let's do this. Getting into it.
It's all you, buddy.
So my weekend started off knowing that I was about to make a bad decision, right? So it was going to be a hot weekend, right? 105 degrees, 107 degrees. What did I plan? I scheduled a detail on this weekend.
Now in the MOSHQ, it wouldn't have been a problem.
Wouldn't have been a problem.
man.
But you know what? We're at my house where it is a problem. So for the last, I think like literally almost month and a half, 2 months, I've been planning on detailing this guy named Anthony's 2006 Subaru WRX STI Hawkeye. This is a guy that bought a car, 40,000 miles on it, right? Paid good money for it, but bought it because it was one of his dream cars. And he saw our series on YouTube on the TRC Rex build.
Are you saying
And
we're influencers?
He
now?
saw that
We
build
influence.
and said, "Holy smokes, that's everything that I want my car to be." Right? And I am kind of crazy. Our 53 Mafia or MAFs. I know I can't even see right now. I'm kind of seeing. I'm seeing
Oh my
colors.
god! This
So-
is what happens, guys. Jeez.
Anyway, so he had seen that whole series and just, looks up to it. Like, what has watched every single episode, and he's local. So he called, had me check out the car in person. He asked for the kind of our opinion. We said, hey, this is going to need to be resprayed. This is an egg mark. You had eggshells here. This roof has had its clear coat failure. This needs to be resprayed. The hood's got too many rock chips. Same thing with the bumper. So he was just jotting all this stuff down. And I mean, obviously we're building a pretty big rap sheet for this guy, but he's 100% down for it. He says, well, there's already the motor company that's been doing all the motor work for me. He's like, I want to get the paint work done and I want this done right. He asked me, are you willing to take on the detail? And I said, well, yeah, I can take on the detail, but there's a checklist of things. So I built out this guy a whole checklist of everything that he needs to do step by step to get that car as perfect as possible, but also in the right order, because that car is going to be going through a lot of different hands. And the thing is if I were to detail it then and there, right, it's going to go through about 10 other hands, and it's not going to look the same.
Right.
So I explained to him the importance of that. And, he's just eating it up. He's one of those people who was very much like a Matt Mormon. He's very much Matt Mormon's audience. He's like
but he doesn't even
but has
know.
no idea who Matt Mormon is, right? He's just a guy that's kind of a perfectionist and wants it done right. And he likes how meticulous that we are. So I've been planning on this detail for a while now, guiding him through over the last month, knocking out different things, everything from giving him recommendations on headlight guys to recommendations on electrical guys and recommendations on Eric, right, who does PDR and all of that. And so it's been really helpful for him, and he's really been loving it. But this weekend is what ended up being the weekend that we had scheduled on, which I had no idea I was going to be going in on a 107-degree weekend attempting
but
to
in the
detail
process,
this
this was you were going to be final detail or partial detail?
This right here, so this detail was supposed to be a baseline detail. The car has probably not been detailed in a long time. And when I saw it in person, I made the mistake because I looked at it in the sun, I did not touch it. That was my biggest mistake. So what I ended up doing Friday night, though, was a change of plans. Obviously, I have told you guys I need to sell my Honda CRZ. Right, and I'm hoping it goes to a good home. I hope it goes to somebody that's going to love it.
Somebody out there.
Because I spent Friday and Saturday night dialing that in. So Friday night, I started with the exterior detail on the car, like the first and last exterior detail that car will ever receive by me. And I knocked out the engine on the car, and I sent Nick a photo of the engine. I didn't take a before, but I do have an after, and so here's the after.
That looks good.
And it cleaned up like beautifully. I mean, like literally clean enough to eat off of. That was really pretty much forced, combination of forced, pressure washer, brushes, and McGuire's hyper dressing. And so people, and actually, so what was I going to say? Oh my gosh! Why can't I think?
Because you scooped
Gabriel
mainline.
Gabriel. I did mainline that, right? It was what's that called when it goes up and in?
Pre-workout.
No, it's when you go from the backside.
Oh yeah,
A suppository.
Yes.
Pre-workout.
Oh, I thought it was talking about boobs.
So, but Gabriel asked me who bought the white Civic.
Yeah.
Asked me like, hey, why didn't you use
RSX
Motorplast?
freak.
And I didn't have Motorplast on me still.
We don't even have it in stock.
And I don't even think we have it in stock. So I used hyperdressing, and which worked amazing. And honestly, I'm surprised I even have a bottle of hyperdressing considering the silicone shortage.
Yeah.
So it's pretty amazing that I still even have that. But engine bay turned amazing. I was super happy with that. And then so we can get back to us here, Nick. And then I prepped the car that night. So everything from the exterior decon to the fender wells and all of that, wheels and all and everything. Because on Saturday, I knew that this was the only day I had to detail the car. The Subaru is coming in on Sunday, but Saturday I have to get this CRZ going because I need to get this thing sold, like sooner than later. I mean, like literally the next day or two, I need to be posting this up for sale. And so I started on the exterior, and I started polishing, and pretty hot day, but like I was able to polish. Like the compound was working well, the polish was working well. I was using last cut with the wool pad, and then I used a hyper polish with a foam pad. And honestly, man, that thing, it's glowing. I mean, all the paint imperfections on there were so minute, like they were so minor that the things I was like, I'm not sure if that'll come out. Everything came out. Like it's literally, I mean, there's no dents on the car. There's no major rock chips. The paint's in great shape, minus the roof and the hood that should probably down the road eventually get repainted once the wrap comes off.
Sure.
But outside of that, dude, it's in great shape. I mean, I was kind of looking at it like, dang, not all this is in some of the better shape out of the fleet of vehicles I have right now. and which kind of bums you out because you go all you
yet
want
you're
is to have good paint, and then that happens. So, but I was going through, knocking everything out. Now, one fun thing happened when I was blowing the car with the ego blower. Not me personally blowing on it, but using the ego blower.
Okay.
I think through the combination of force and snow foam and pressure washing, I somehow broke off the connection point of the antenna on the top, right?
Oh, the shark fin.
Shark fin. It like loosened it, and when I went to go grab the blower, started blowing it, I see the shark fin lifting, and I go, oh, that's weird. But before I could shut it off, I see it fly off in the air and fly off the car. And I go, are you kidding me?
Sailing.
So I went and grabbed it and looked at it, and I could see that basically there was just the bolts had kind of cracked on it. And so I was like, well, I'm going to throw in some crazy flex style, not flex glue, but like some type of like epoxy resin kind of glue. And so I threw that on there.
To keep water
Dude,
out.
I threw that on there. It already has a silicone ring, a rubber ring.
Gasket.
And so, but yeah, threw that back on. Things rock solid. I was pretty happy about that. And continued on and basically compounding, polishing, and then the coating was when I was the hardest. So it was roughly around 4 o'clock is when I had to coat the car. I was going to grab a bottle of CSL, but I knew I had some extra XO, and I had a whole bottle of C1 that I hadn't used. The C1 was not doing it. It was too hot. It was way too hot. The second I would apply the C1, it was already hardening.
Oh.
I mean, so I couldn't use C1. So then I switched to XO, and XO was working, but it was the funniest thing I had to do. I had to put on an applicator pad, and as I'm wiping with the applicator pad, I'm falling.
Yeah,
into the
literally.
towel.
Yeah.
I'm literally just going like this.
Because
Yeah.
there's no time between when it is
No, which is
applied
what
and when it
I had to
actually
do basically
flashes.
on that
And-
Mercedes.
And I couldn't believe how much of a struggle it was to get the XO on there. That I was sweating. The scan grip was. I had the
Sliding down your
I had
head.
a scan grip on. So I'll tell you, it was the most life-changing thing here in just 1 second. But I had the scan grip on. I'm sweating. I'm an applicator pad, and then I'm running out of the XO. Right. I only had about 3/4 of a bottle of XO, and I knew I was going to burn through most of it because I'm trying to coat everything.
Yeah.
And then I did, after actually loading up an applicator pad, dropped one of my applicator pads.
Oh.
And so I wasted that.
Yeah.
And then I used too much product for what I was
So
expecting to
when I
use.
was coding, I had my over-the-ear headphones on. I had a respirator on, and I had my scan grip light on.
That must have been hot.
I was sweating like I couldn't believe, and I took everything off when I finished, and then I called Anthony to tell him, and then you told me.
This is my solution. The neck fan. The wraparound neck fan, right? But it gets even better than that. Katie got one of those. She went to the fair on Friday or Saturday, and she got those neck wraps. It's like a bunch of beads, like water beads in a neck wrap that you put in you get
Freezer.
cold and you put in the freezer. So I had that wrapped around me, and then the neck fan blowing the cold air
From the
over
ice.
over the beads,
Yeah,
and then blowing up on my face.
yeah.
That
Nice.
was the only way that I kept cool in that garage, because I have my unit now that measures the what's it called?
Yeah,
the
little weather
the
station.
weather station. It was 107 in my garage, and which was unbearable. I mean, it was just beyond hot. But I was able to do it. I mean, basically, I sweat to death. I got the car done. It looks phenomenal, and I think whoever sees it in person, the exterior, the interior, and the engine, it'll be a done deal.
Yeah.
I just need somebody to come see it in person and know how well it's taken care of. So I'm excited. So if you guys know anybody that's looking for a Honda Sierra Z, if you want to travel, if you're local and you want to pick one up, let me know. 124,000 miles, clean title, all VINs matching. It's in good shape.
It's worth it.
Was once an auction car, but is now a show car.
Nice.
Ready to rock
It may
and
have been
roll.
an auction car, but it was touched by you, graced by the Honda.
Yeah.
Gods
something
and-
like that. It was just giving a lot of love. That's all it was. And so after that, guy drops off the Subaru. So he comes over to the house. He actually super nice guy. His name's Anthony. He lets me drive it first. He says, "Let's go rip on it really quick before it's yours for the night."
It's a little modified,
And
right?
so he has about, he told me, is $30,000 into the motor of that STI. which is all the work included, the car currently sits at 400 horsepower, which is a hard number to justify $30,000
That's 95
for.
more than stock.
But I think that it's probably there's more left on the table. It's just that's what he's running right now.
Right.
But I mean, the blow-off valve sounds insane. I mean, the car sounds great. The exhaust, incredible, right?
I do love
And
that
he
sound.
tells me that he just got that Tomei Extreme titanium exhaust. He's been waiting for it for literally 6 months. And he was like, I just got it on last week. He's like, it's my favorite mod ever. And I was like, awesome, dude. It sounds so good. We took it for a drive. It was incredible. I mean, it's a very well handling car, much better than ours was.
Yeah.
Except we didn't have anywhere near that much
we
money
didn't
into
do
it.
the exhaust on ours.
So after we hung out for a little bit, he actually started watching me, getting started with the detail, and he was just like super impressed with everything I was doing, right? I was like spraying fault remover on it, and there was a ton of contamination on that car that was just letting loose on everything. And he was like, yes, G. Davis, the CRZ hybrid battery is I believe it's the original, unless it was replaced, but it's still it's a strong battery. Strong, runs almost at full charge 100% of the time. It's amazing.
But you don't notice any weird degradation or anything like
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I watched all the videos on how to tell if a battery's bad, and this thing's like solid.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
all the
and
way
you always
through.
have a 12 volt, even though you have the big battery in a hybrid,
Yeah.
you also have your 12 volt for starting and things like that.
But so he was impressed. His wife was there. He's like, gosh, he's like, look what he's doing. He's doing this iron thing. And she was like, that's amazing. And just people that are like really impressed with like, just like, what you're going to do anyways, which was really cool. Now here's where everything went horribly wrong. So after doing that, I said, all right, you guys got to get out of here. It's 9:00. I got to finish this washing.
Yeah.
I got to get going. So I started spraying that thing down and just going through the chemical decon first, right? Power cleaning the lowers at like 3-1. I mean, the thing, while in photos it looked okay at first, it was way worse than what I thought. And so, Nick, there should be one of a shot in my driveway that I sent you, if we can pull that up. Okay, so this is me getting started back there. And then, all right, kick out of that picture there. So then this is me after I, washed everything. So what ended up happening was I started washing the car and I started feeling it. And I said, oh, man, this is pretty bad. Because I didn't feel it before. For some reason, I didn't just go up to his paint and start rubbing it because it was dirty. I'm not going to do that on any paint, right? But I should have done that to know what I was getting myself into. So here was the problem. You can kick out of that picture, Nick. And the car was covered in overspray. And I told him that because I actually called him. I said, hey, man, your car's covered in overspray. And he's like, no, my car's never had paint work done. I said, no, it's covered in overspray from something else, whether it was another car, getting painted in a booth or a house. And it was all over all the horizontal surfaces, which is just like overspray would fall. And so it was so bad that the mitt...
Could have been spraying something in the shop, painting something.
It was just parked outside in a parking lot or a driveway somewhere and caught
Anywhere.
The mitt couldn't glide properly. The wash mitt couldn't glide properly.
even with the wash meter.
So at that point, like during the wash, I was like F it, man. I started grabbing Power Clean, and I grabbed the Ultra Clay Towel, and I just start laying down Power Clean and just start scrubbing. It made it about 50% better. That's all I could get out of it. The Ultra Clay Towel was a destroyed towel. I knew it was going to be destroyed because it's too fine of a clay for that. I needed something stronger. So after I at least washed the car, got it decon, cleaned the wheels, did all of that, I got it into the garage, and I said, okay, well, here's the thing. The guy's taking it to get paint work done on Monday, which was yesterday. The goal of this detail was to get a baseline detail to bring out the good paint, right?
Yeah.
To be able to show
Color match.
to
and
be
all
able to
that
show
kind
the
of
body
stuff.
shop, hey, this is what you need to color match, right? That way they're not laying brand new paint on something that is just next to a wasted setup
Right.
that they may not be able to get the match properly because it has flake in it. I want to make sure it looks right. And that's what we did with ours. And so I knew it was getting painted. So the thing is, he was paying to have the whole car polished because he wanted to see it polished.
Yeah.
Not because it needed to be, because that stuff's going in for paintwork.
Yeah, they're
He
going to
just-
be sanding it.
He just wanted to see it personally to see what it would look like. So I said, okay, man, well, I pulled out 3,000 grit and a little bit of O&R 256-1.
A little wash with some
And
3,000.
I just started washing the car with 3,000 on all the horizontal surfaces, just literally scrubbing things away. and it was the only thing that cut through that overspray. Marred the crap out of it, but it did the job. So did that, and from there, right, I'm like, okay, overspray's gone. This is going to be a cakewalk, right? Grab that compound, grab that, that wool pad, and I should be able to get going. So Sunday morning is when I started in on the actual polishing. I knew it was going to take me pretty much most of the day. I had bought 4 new pads for his vehicle, 4 or 5 new pads for his vehicle. I said, hey, I'm just going to use these new pads. I bought them for this detail. I don't want to have to dip into other pads. I just want to use these because he paid for them, right? And I start jumping in with the polishing, and it was in the morning. And yesterday morning, I think at 10 a.m., it was already 92 degrees.
Yeah.
And so I started polishing out the sides, and it was literally hilarious. I removed the overspray, but the paint was so dry. That overspray was keeping any other protective products like a wax or whatever it is from penetrating that overspray and getting into the actual clear. So basically what it was maybe a waxed surface, overspray, dry clear. So I get through the wax, I get through the overspray, now I'm left with dry clear. It was sucking up all that compound to the point to where it was literally dissipating. It was literally like removing concrete. And I was so frustrated because I was so hot already. And I said, I'm going to do this all day.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm like, this can't. This can't be the case. So I eventually actually work out this. Oh, we're frozen.
Not according to my phone.
So what I ended up doing was I did TLC, and I'm doing half a panel at a time, like a quarter of a panel to half a panel depending on the size. Going in with wool, going with last cut compound, running it, working it in, constantly spraying O&R at 256-1 to lubricate the surface, and then running that through and then wiping off with a towel. What's happening is I'm cutting through everything, but okay, we're good. But what ended up happening was the compound was still in the clear.
Right. Yeah.
It wasn't wiping away fully.
Yeah.
And I would take IPA. It would kind of take it off.
Yeah.
Panel wipe, it would kind of take it off.
Yeah.
But it was then like doing something strange in the paint. Basically,
Correct.
It was soaking up all the oils, but I couldn't run my compound in it to its full. I wasn't running the compound for as long as I could.
You weren't able to cycle it.
Yeah, I wasn't able to cycle the abrasives. So basically, I was short cycling everything, leaving too much oil on the paint, and then the oil in the paint was causing this haziness, and it wasn't looking right.
Yeah.
So I said, "Holy crap, dude!" So I went to hyper polish. It pulled out the haziness. It pulled out the oil. Right, still just as difficult to remove, and I was not getting the finish I was looking for. So this car is going for paint. They tasked me, don't use anything ceramic, try to avoid using silicones, try to avoid using things. That car needed to be moisturized. It had to be. Like literally there's no other way. I'd rather have it be moisturized and they have to sand through everything than me have to struggle like that for the next, 10 hours.
Yeah.
So this is what I did. I said TLC, last cut compound, hit it hard, ran it through multiple cycles as much as I could cycle it, using O&R as a lubricant and pad washing my pads as often as I could to cut through overspray, dry clear, and try to get the most correction I could possibly get, right?
Yeah.
And I'm making multiple passes, trying to really get everything I can. So then what I did was So then what I did is I said, F it, man. I grabbed a yellow pad and I loaded that thing up with Uno Protect, and I started laying down Uno Protect on the surface. Holy crap. Fixed it. Immediately. My wipe off now at 100 degrees was the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Literally, I couldn't make it up. It was insanely good. And so I started wiping it off and I'm like, oh my God, this paint is phenomenal now. It needed this moisturization. It needed this in the clear. And so I went through the whole car, step by step, panel by panel, knocking out the compound, knocking out the Uno Protect. And Nick, can we get another kind of swirl shot in here? So there's one swirl shot. There should be another one. That was the after. Yeah, so that was before and after. That was on the roof. this was the before after the 3000, and there should be an after. There we go with the compound, the Uno Protect. And then, and that's what it was looking like. So it was glassing out like beautiful. I mean, like the gloss was amazing. Should be a spoiler shot inside there, some oxidation there. Then I cut through that and then brought that out as well. So, and then there's kind of one of the after shots.
Great improvement.
And then if we can get one on the fender, should be a fender shot there that looks pretty dang good. Yeah. So what I ended up doing was I was able to save this guy the potential respray. Okay, before we jump into that, Nick, I got to explain that. So I saved the guy from potential respray.
Yeah.
Now here's where everything went horribly wrong. I'm literally finishing out the car. I'm in the last hour of all my work.
Yeah.
I'm running the pad on the rear bumper, and I'm going through, and I had to cut the bumper one more time with the wool. Going through, cutting it. I'm hot, dude. I'm like, my sweat's dripping down in my eye. I'm laying on my back, on my side, trying to get the underside of this bumper. And that's when I hear buzz, like a buzz. And I go, crap, what was that, right? So I pull off the polisher. At the angle I was at, I could not see that I was getting as low as I was getting. And the pad, not the backing plate, but the side of the pad, cut the top of the Tomei Extreme exhaust. Now you can pull up that picture here. And it cut through the anodizing.
The side of the pad managed to do that.
This guy had this exhaust on here for 5 days, literally brand new. He waited 6 months for it, and I
Paid $1,000 bucks.
And he paid way over $1,000.
Double that.
And I cut through the anodizing or the burning on the tip there, and I was gutted, dude. I literally was like, no way did that just happen. I've never had this happen before, and you would think that could withstand a side of a pad, but it can't, right? It's literally just a burn on the titanium. So I called him immediately, and I said, hey, man, here's the thing. Car looks amazing. I screwed up, though. I taken a pad, got too close. He didn't understand what I was trying to explain to him. He's like, so, wait, is the exhaust destroyed? I said, no. But there's a gash in the blue on the titanium tip, and I said, I think it needs to be reburned or replaced, and I'm so sorry. I have never messed up like that before, and I'm pretty meticulous about things like that. It happened within half a second, and so because if it hit paint, I could fix it.
Sure.
If it dented something, I could probably fix it. I could do a lot of things. If there was some type of issue that would happen, I can either fix it, I can make it right. That I can't fix. I don't know how to do that. No.
So next time we need to get you a torch.
I know.
In the garage, and you need to start buying tips of pieces of metal and start practicing your burning techniques.
I know, seriously.
It'll be a new feature at your shop.
We should do that thing where you get
tips.
they do the pool noodle covers over piping sometimes where it's insulation or whatever. You just do that on
Pool
every
noodles
fancy
on exhaust
exhaust
pipes.
tip. When you start working around the bumper, you just slip on like a little slip cover,
Well,
little insulation.
But you're right. It's never.
I didn't even know. I didn't even know it was
It's
going
not
to
even
get
something
that
to think
close
about.
to it.
No, yeah,
That's
snuck
not
up
even
on
something.
you.
Like I'm more worried when I'm running a polisher in the middle of a license plate recess,
Yeah.
right? Thinking that could cut into something around there
At any moment.
but it never happens. So the fact that this happens, I was just pissed. So basically, I called him. He was really appreciative. I said, hey, I could either charge you half of what I was going to charge you, or, you can pay me and then I pay for whatever it costs to fix it, or I'll help you try to find a way to fix it. So
it was smart of you to contact him right away, though. That's a big thing where I think just get it out of the way. Don't act like you're hiding it or trying. Just get it out there and be clear.
So, but he was thrilled. I mean, he was super, super happy. I mean, when he came and saw it, he's like, let's get the ugly out of the way. So we talked about the exhaust. And after that, we moved on to the paint. And he was just really like super happy about it. But he doesn't have the eye yet, right? I sent him pictures of swirls and scratches. He doesn't see that stuff. It's not what he specializes in. So he just saw that he has a new shiny car, right? That's still going to get even better. But he asked me, he's like, well, this looks amazing, but where are we at on the scale of like how good this looks? Because this to me looks like as good as it's going to get, but can it get better? And how does it get better, right? Because if this is a baseline detail, but you have already done this perfection on it, what's the next step? And I explained to him that really it's a matter of, now we're going, defect by defect. I go on your door and I look at your door and I see the smallest hairline scratch, put a piece of tape next to it, and I say that's what I'm wet sanding out and polishing that out. Then I move on to another area, tape that off. And I said, it's going to be really minute stuff, and it's also going to be rock chip repair, it's going to be that. And then it might be an extra third step when we compound and polish this again in a few months, where I use an extra pad and I use an extra jeweling polish just to add as much gloss as we can. And so I said, there's a whole bunch of different things that we'll be able to do. It's just a matter of how crazy we want to get with polishing door jambs and everything else, because you can polish pretty much anything. You can milk anything with nipples, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I got nipples, Greg. Can you milk me, right? So, we'll probably go even crazier with it. I need to figure out who can burn that tip again, at least just in that area. And what was I going to say? The last thing. So after the Uno Protect, though, I did wipe everything out down with IPA, right? So I needed to remove the sealant. IPA will take off Uno Protect. It's not that big of a deal. But what was nice is that the IPA wipe down was able to remove the Uno Protect, the hydrophobic properties, and the slickness, but still retain that same corrected look.
Yeah.
So because of the small abrasives in Uno Protect, it still can work as a finishing polish. But if you're going to be putting protection on top of it, you're better off using something like Uno Pure or something. So Uno Pure, but just didn't have that lubrication that Uno Protect had with what I was looking for. So
It has a carnauba.
Yeah.
That's what that extra carnauba.
So turned out amazing. It was a long weekend. I've never been that hot before. I drank a bunch of beers, and then drank a bunch of beers.
Probably shouldn't have done that, but
I drank a bunch of beers after, and then
that's
and then he was super cool because when he dropped off the car Saturday night, he's like, I don't really know what you're into, but I brought you some refreshments. He brought me 3 Boise Juice Co. juices, right? Which was like $9 a piece, right?
That's not cheap.
And he brought me like 6 beers, but like craft beers. And he's like, I didn't know if you were like a guy that drinks or if you're like the healthy guy, so I brought you a mix of both. I'm like, you're amazing.
Because this one or the other.
I'm drinking all of these, had a bunch of beers and had a bunch of juices. I must have drank probably 3 or 4 gallons because I sweat 3 or 4 gallons. And it was a long weekend, but I have a car that's ready for sale. I made some extra side money for maybe my new car down the road.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens.
Dig it.
All right. So, that's been a wonderful little recap. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this podcast. And, I have to include this. Thank you, G. I'm envisioning Anthony in a pool with beer and a bucket of chicken.
That sounds like the dream. Probably. But I actually like crawfish in the pool.
Oh,
actually.
right. Yeah, you're
I like to have myself a boil.
He wants himself some.
Well, I'm boiling. Hot enough. I want to eat a boil.
Seafood treats.
I'm just in the crawfish soup, just in there
disgusting.
eating like the sausages and like.
How gross. Okay,
Dang,
way to end with that
shave
visual.
my body. Shave it all.
In the pool, it's just hair flowing. Disgusting. Okay, so on that note, what a great way to end the show. We really appreciate you watching. We really appreciate you listening. If you haven't already, please click like. It gets us in front of more people, helps us expand the channel, and build this audience so that we can have more fun chatter, because that keeps this thing lively while we're telling our weekend stories. Now, most importantly, obviously, check out the Justin Paint event on theradcompany.com. You can get all your details, and I'm sure Nick will be kind enough to pull up the website here so we can take a look at that just briefly. But there's great prizes, all kinds of stuff, and donations. $10 a piece gets you entries into the giveaways, and they'll be happening during the event.
Yep.
And it's broken out into sections, live. So there'll be multiple drawings, several drawings. You can kind of see how it's broken down there. So don't miss it. It's going to be fun. It's on August 10th. That's only like a week away. So we're coming up pretty close. So keep your eyes out for that. The live stream event will be created and put up on the back end of YouTube on our main channel in the not too distant future. We'll have that ready. So you'll be able to go and click your reminders to make sure if you forget, the computer does. Other than that, I would say it's been fun. It's been nice. And be sure to look out for Dave Phillips over on the Q&A Thursday later this week. So that's it, guys.
Okay.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Have a good one.
See ya.
See ya.